What is going on, guys? So I wanted to touch on ways to clear your energy. And this is going to be more about how to clear your energy of everyday life, not like if you're just in a really bad mood. Though I'll try to make a video if you're just struggling one day, but more of like naturally clearing your energy so that you can focus and find your authentic path. Now, the first thing we need to understand that Darius talks about is that our thoughts, what we think about, basically become artwork pieces in our energetic field. And everything you think about goes into that energetic field. So what you consume equals what you're carrying. So if you're looking at content like negative news, reels, YouTube, arguments, then that is in your field. Like you have a bunch of negativity in your field. Same for conversations or gossip, stuff like that. That's going to bring down your field. At the same time, everybody else has a field too. So if you are constantly in interaction with somebody that's got a dominant personality or a very negative attitude, and you're kind of switching off who you would naturally be to please that other person. Say you are holding back a joke or a comment because you think it might rub your boss the wrong way. So now you're not being authentically who you would naturally be because of your fear of the way they might react. It doesn't, even if you don't have very many people in your life, if you have a very dominant personality or a very dominant person in your life, it could still be blocking your energetic field of you figuring out authentically who you truly are. Same with music. Like a lot of some music, if it gets you in a good mood, awesome. But a lot of that music out there is to brainwash you almost, to get you to have these negative emotions, this negative vibration that's constantly beating through your system, because we are acoustic beings, but that is the wrong frequency. It's tuned to 440 hertz, which is a negative frequency that we need to be more with the harmonic frequency. So you start being selective, not restrictive. And then you can ask yourself, does this leave me clear or does this leave me heavy? Okay. Number 2 is your body is your field's foundation. So like, are you getting enough sleep? I know it's cliche, but are you getting enough sleep? Because even that extra hour is going to make a world of a difference with your brain. Are you eating all the time? Are you consuming all of these foods 3 times a day? Well, that's going to bog down your mind. If you're eating healthier, that's good, but ultimately what we want to do is kind of get to an intermittent fasting where you have longer periods of time where you're not consuming, so your body doesn't have to process all these heavy metals and all these poisons, and so you can actually get more clarity in your mind. So you want to drink water, salt water, right? You add some salt to your water because we're a saltwater battery. You want to get the sleep and you want to move. You want to move daily, whether that's going for a little run, walking, doing the stairs, just sitting down and doing some exercises, that kind of stuff. Like your body needs to do a little bit of movement too. So it will help release some of that heavy pressure that's holding on and hanging on into your body. Your thoughts are directions, not truth. So if you're constantly saying things like something's off, I need to fix this, I'm not where I should be, well then your mind's going to start scanning reality to prove to you that that's the case. So not because it's true, but because that's the instructions that you gave it. So if you are constantly thinking something's wrong, well then you're going to find ways that reinforce that something is wrong. So we almost have to switch to an optimistic mindset. And you almost have to recalibrate every morning when you wake up. Be like, hey, today's going to be a good day. Or something good's coming my way. Whether it does or doesn't, if you're looking for something good to come your way, more often than not, you're going to find something good coming your way. And if you're like, something good's coming my way, and then something bad happens, be like, nah, I'll get past that. You know what I mean? You're not going to dwell on it. But you're not going to naturally get to that level just because you understand it. Like, you're going to have to consciously wake up in the morning and be like, all right, man, today's going to be a good day. Another thing I do is like, I'm going to worry about my problems tomorrow. I'm going to try to live in the moment the best I can today. And, give myself that permission to live in the moment and pick up my baggage for tomorrow. Number 4, emotional residue is real and it stacks, right? So unprocessed moments don't disappear. They sit in the background. Stress, arguments, fear, it all builds like an open tab, like a bunch of open tabs in your browser, right? So we need to clear it. There's a couple different ways to clear it, but one is just being by yourself, sitting in the silence. That's why they tell you to meditate. I'll talk about meditation a little bit later. Journaling. Journaling is a good way to just get it out. Not that you're going to publish it, not that anybody's going to read it, but just get your frustrations out. Sometimes you might just need to go for a walk and talk it out, or put it into, I get a voice recorder and I just speak the angry frustration that I have for that particular moment. And then I don't send it to anybody, but I feel better that I actually got all my thoughts processed out and I cleared that space. I got it out of my field, and it's documented, but it's out of my way, right? A lot of times you can just those breathing techniques. We have air around us all the time, and if it's not something that you naturally get used to doing unless you practice it, but taking in those big deep breaths, holding it for a second, and then blowing that negative air out sometimes can help reset the mood or the moment type of thing. Your environment matters more than you think. So if your space is cluttered, or there's something, maybe you just need to go concentrate for an hour and get the dishes in your kitchen in order. Maybe you need to clean up your desk. Maybe you need to fix that drawer. Maybe you need to do the laundry. But don't do it all. You're going to be overwhelmed. But just pick one thing, work on that for a second, and then you know what happens usually when you're actually invested into cleaning or working on one thing, you have enough silence in your mind that you get hit with something. Because you ask your soul, you say, hey, soul, why am I here? What am I doing? What do you want me to notice? And it'll give you that answer. But if you are constantly distracted by conversation, by scrolling, by shopping, by all that stuff, then you're never going to have enough time to sit and hear your soul talk to you. And if you're not used to sitting with yourself and listening to your soul even talk to you, because it comes in like a different voice. It's like your voice, it's your thought, but you're like, when you hear that thought, you're like, hold on, that wasn't me. Oh, that, and then you run with that. A lot of times I get that hit in the shower. I get that hit when I'm mowing the grass. So ladies, if you're out there this summer, say, I'll cut the grass, honey, right? And go cut the grass, because that vibration with the lawnmower and yourself and nature helps with the thinking and the clarity. Don't put your earbuds on. Don't distract yourself. Just be with your thoughts. And at the same time, let those thoughts come in. Whether it's anger or fear, frustration, worry, just let them come to you, acknowledge them, and then let them go. And realize that they're not going to hurt you, but you're allowed to at least observe them. Number 6 is stop overcorrecting yourself. Trying to constantly fix yourself, constantly heal yourself, constantly upgrade yourself. You want to get to a point where you're just living. You're just trying to be in the moment. Like you don't have to be the same person you were 5 minutes ago. You can put a new foot forward every moment. That's what you say. I can be a new person right now, this minute I can start to change. Well, you've been such an asshole for so long this way. This is what they expect. Well, this is the new me. This is the new me. And you keep on trying to be that new you for longer and longer periods, kind of like riding a bike no-handed. At first, you take your hands off the steering wheel for a second, or the handlebars, and try to go for as long as you can. Then you put your hands back on when you think you're going to fall. Then you do it again. Before long, you got the balance and you got it down. But it takes a little bit of practice. So the real goal is less noise, not perfection. So, yes, getting all of those negative movies and TV shows and arguments and reality TV out of your way. Clearing your path and not engaging with every single person. Doesn't mean you can't engage with people. It doesn't mean you can't have an interaction. But at the same time, limit that. Make sure you have some time for yourself. So yeah, limit mindless scrolling, even if it's like 20 to 30% less. Drink water, move the body. 5 to 10 minutes of just sitting there with no input. Just sit or walk, and then catch those negative loops without feeding them. Be like, oh, yep, I'm negative. I'm kind of upset. I'm frustrated about the money today. I'm definitely in a bad mind frame. That's why I'm getting pissed off about that. And then you identified it. Now, you still might get a little upset about it, but if you start calling out the negative loop or the negative thought pattern that you have, then you're at least going to bring it to your awareness. And once you bring it to your awareness, you can start to try to figure out, well, why is it coming in? Where does it stem from? What's the problem? And then you go from there. And then clean and organize one small thing at a time. So that's kind of a good way to kind of clear your energy. You really do have to, you might have to get to a point where you're not that coworker today that goes out, drinks, parties. You know what I mean? That you put that up for a day or two. You spend a couple more days throughout the week with yourself, with your own thoughts, trying to figure out what you want to do. Because you probably have a passion. You probably have something you've been wanting to work on. And it's too hard to start working on it because you don't know how to stop being the person you've created everybody thinks that you are, right? So I hope that helped clear up a little bit of your energy and cleans your field, because once you get to that point where you're talking positively to yourself and meaning it, but in the beginning you might not be like, everything is great, but eventually you get to that point where you're like, yeah, things are good. Things are good. And you start buying into that, and you start looking for things that back that up, and you keep that positive attitude, and that's when things start to change. And meditation's kind of weird in the beginning. Breathe in through your nose, hold it for a second, out through your mouth, and you concentrate on your breathing. You recommend just getting a 10-minute video, like daily motivation meditation or daily meditation. There's like there's like little 10-minute snippets where if you do 20 of those for the next 20 days, one a day for 10 minutes, and let somebody else guide you. And after 20 times, you'll be able to guide yourself, or you'll realize if you like the guide, and you can learn how to meditate. In the beginning, it feels funny, it feels weird, and you're going to, at the end of 10 minutes, be like, I don't think anything happened. I didn't hear it. I didn't feel anything or anything like that. But then you're going to be a little bit more calm throughout the days. You're going to be a little bit more relaxed. You're going to be a little bit more just going with the flow. You're not going to be so uptight. And you'll get to a point where if you concentrate on your breathing, then your thoughts will come, but just let your thoughts come, let them go. Don't chase them down. Don't think it through. Don't overanalyze. Just acknowledge, yep, frustrated with my boss there. Let's push it out of the way. And then you'll get into a way of kind of having that meditation. Another thing, if you just need to reset your day, sometimes you just need to go to bed and wait for the next day because you're so frustrated. But if you just need to clean your energy, sometimes getting down and doing as many push-ups as you can will reset your body. Sometimes getting in a shower and changing that hot water to cold for a few seconds will reset your body. Going out for a run or doing something active to get your blood flowing will reset. Changing the conversation, calling somebody who's not a part of the pressure of your life. There's a bunch of different ways to get out of it, but once you're in a shitty situation or a shitty mind frame, it's hard to voluntarily do that. So give yourself some grace. The next day will come, the sun will come up, and you will be okay. But keep fighting, keep striving for better, and keep waking up. And I'll talk to you later, guys. Peace.